What's up, everybody? I made it. I barely made it, but I made it. I'm still trying to calm myself down here. So many pigeons. Is that code word for something else, or what? Are they actual pigeons? I got to ask y'all's opinion on something at the top of the show here in a minute. I'm still trying to calm myself down. I need an honest opinion from y'all, if I overreacted or not. I don't think I did. But I don't know. I'm biased. I'll get started in like 2 minutes. Give Sea-Dog a few minutes. Hopefully he's able to show up. It's been about a month since we've done the ACC show, and that's part of the story I'm going to tell here. But I did let him know a couple of weeks ago that we would do a show tonight. It's NFL Draft Week, as you can see from the title there. I believe the draft starts on Thursday. It's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I believe. So we'll take a look at some of the ACC draft prospects and their respective schools. Am I going live for the NFL draft? You know what? I might. I probably have a better chance of going live for the second round than the first round, but we'll see. What time does the draft start on Thursday? It's Thursday night, right? Probably like 7 or 8 o'clock, probably, if I had to guess. $8 o'clock. All right, thank you. I might be able to do that. 8 o'clock Thursday, 7 o'clock Friday. So let me ask y'all a question while we're waiting on Sea-Dog here. I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna try not to get mad. It took me an hour to calm down on the way home. Well, over an hour on the way home to calm down. I just walked in the door 5 minutes ago. I should have been home 2 hours ago, at least. So, to make a long story short, well, it might be a long story, but I'm going to try to make it shorter than it should be. So, my mom is 82 years old, and she is not in the greatest of health, so I spend a lot of time, well, I say me and my older sister also still lives here in Charleston. So between the two of us, we both spend a lot of time taking her to various doctor's appointments and hospitals and this and that for all kinds of various things. I won't even get into any of that. That's not important for the conversation. But anyway, to make a long story short, she had a doctor's appointment today. I thought it was, she's scheduled to have back surgery soon because she fell a few weeks ago and fractured her spine. And that's been a whole ordeal. But anyway, I thought I was taking her to a pre-op appointment for her back surgery, but turns out I was just taking her to her normally scheduled cardiologist appointment that she has every 6 months. So this appointment has been scheduled for 6 months. And her cardiologist's office is about an hour away. Well, it's over an hour away from where I live. It's about an hour away from where she lives, because of the traffic and where it is. It's in the city, in Charleston, and of course I live out, way out in the suburbs. So the appointment is at 2:00 p.m. All right. Now, I'm never late for anything, unless it's extenuating circumstances. I'm always 15 to 20 minutes early for anything, anywhere I'm supposed to be. I'm neurotic about it because I care about people's time, unlike some other people. So I'm like, okay, your appointment's at 2:00. It's going to take us an hour to get out there. That's 1:00. I'll pick you up at 12:30. So I pick her up at 12:30.
Well, when did you decide?
We get on the road. We get to the doctor's office at around 1:40. So 20 minutes before the appointment is supposed to start.
It keeps coming up the same thing.
We go into the doctor's office. She checks in. We sit down in the waiting room.
Needs women.
2:00 rolls around. 2:30 rolls around. 3:00 rolls around. Now I'm starting to get mad because they still haven't called her back. We've been there for an hour and 20 minutes. And it's an hour past her appointment time. 3:30 rolls around. Now we've been there for 2 hours, or an hour and 50 minutes. Now, they haven't said anything to us. They haven't said, hey, sorry you're waiting so long. The doctor will see you in a minute, whatever. None of that. So now I'm mad. Now I'm getting mad. And the other reason I'm getting mad is because I'm seeing a dozen different people come in after us and go into the doctor's office and come back out and leave. And we're still sitting there. So I'm starting to think, I don't know, maybe they forgot about us or something. I don't know. So I'm like, I'm not sitting here all day just hoping that they didn't forget about us. So I go up to the receptionist window and I say, hey, is the doctor planning on seeing her, anytime soon, or what's going on here? She goes, oh yeah, he's with the patient right now, but she's next. I said, okay, what's next mean? Does that mean, are we talking 5 minutes or are we talking another freaking hour? He goes, probably about 30 minutes. I said, do you know what time our appointment was? And she goes, yeah, 2:30. I go, do you know what time it is now? It's almost, at this point, we've been there for over 2 hours. So anyway, my mom's telling me to, calm down. She sees I'm getting mad. She doesn't want to get embarrassed by me. So she tells me to, sit down. So I do. But I'm still seething mad. Then they come out and they bring her back in there finally. After about another 20 minutes. So now it's after 4 o'clock. For a 2 o'clock appointment. I'm sitting there, and this lady who was sitting there, everyone in the waiting room, it's a small little waiting room in a small little doctor's office, so everyone heard what I was saying. This lady goes, what time was your mom's appointment? And I said, 2 o'clock. She goes, what doctor was he seeing? And I told her the name of the doctor. She goes, yeah, me too. I said, what do you mean you too? She goes, yeah, I had a 2 o'clock appointment with him too. So they're double, and God knows how many other people, they're double and triple booking a patient at the same time for one doctor. He can only see one person at a time. And they're scheduling people for the same time. So now I'm really mad. So I go back up to the receptionist window, and first of all, to this point, there was no apology like, sorry, sir, none of that. So I go back up to the receptionist window, And now that my mom's not in it anymore, now I can say what I want to say without embarrassing my mom. So I said, I just want to let you know that it's extremely disrespectful and unprofessional to make people sit for a scheduled appointment for 2 hours and not say anything to them. She goes, well, we got backed up in the morning. I say, well, did it ever occur to you to pick up the phone and call your afternoon patients and say, hey, we're 2 hours behind? And then give them the option to reschedule the appointment? And she didn't say anything. She just looked at me. Now, am I in the wrong here? Oh, Rick, that's exactly what I said to her, too. She just gave me this blank stare on her. She still hadn't apologized yet. I was waiting for her to apologize, which she refused to do. So I said, let me ask you a question. I said, if we showed up to the appointment 2 hours late, would you still see her? And you know how they have those little sliding windows? Like at the reception, if they open up the little window open, she didn't say nothing. She just slammed the window shut. I about lost it. Then she's back. This is just a regular checkup. Now, they weren't running any tests. They weren't doing blood work. They weren't doing an MRI. They weren't doing none of that. This is just, hey, how you doing? Let me listen to your heart. How you feeling? All that. Shouldn't take more than 20 minutes. She's back there for an hour. So now it's 5 o'clock. And we've been there since 1:40. So they wheel her out. She doesn't get around well, so she either has a walker or a wheelchair, but I wheeled her up there in a wheelchair because it was just easier. It would have taken an hour for her to walk up there with the walker. And I said to my mom, I said, I just want to let you know, I said, I'm not mad at you. It's not your fault. I said, but I think what happened here today was extremely disrespectful to you and me. But to you, you're the patient, not caring about your time. I said, if I were you, I'd look for a different doctor, a different cardiologist. Of course, she's been seeing the same cardiologist for probably the past 20 years or whatever it is. And she's like, oh, no, I like him. I said, well, I don't. The irony is, I almost had a heart attack in the cardiologist's office. Oh, God damn. Well, still no Sea-Dog. I haven't heard from him. Does any other ACC person want to come on and go through this list with me? I'm probably going to get off around 8 o'clock anyway. I haven't eaten anything today, so I gotta get off around 8 probably and eat something. I mean, I can't, the amount of doctor's appointments that I've been to in the past 5 or 6 years, taking my mom, I lost count. I mean, hundreds. And not a single time has this happened. So I don't think they were acting like it was a normal thing. That's not normal. It's not normal. All right. I'll turn this music off. Let's get this show started. Welcome to the ACC show, everyone. Sorry about my rant there.
What's going on, Pete?
What's up, Reg Talk? Nice to talk to you again, man.
Yeah, yeah. You called me and said I hadn't been around. I said, let me go see what Pete's doing. And
There you
it
go.
seems like you're as frustrated at everyone in the world as I am.
Oh, well,
which
I'm
I
not.
love to hear.
I mean, I woke up in a great mood, but that was out of my control. Somebody in the chat just said you should have just left. If it were my appointment, I would have left. I would have left after about 30 minutes. But it wasn't my appointment. I couldn't drag my mom out of there. I mean,
Yeah, but then what are you going to do? Show up again?
Yeah.
And have to wait an hour the next
but
time?
if they
I mean,
would have,
you're already there.
if they would have called us around lunchtime and said, "Hey, we're 2 hours backed up. Do you want to reschedule?" We would have just rescheduled it. But they didn't do that. I mean, that would have been the right thing to do.
Yeah. No,
Oh.
well, ooh, you got me mad. I wasn't even there.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I was mad. I was shaking. But anyway, how's things going with you?
They're going well, man. They're going well. Other than, like you, I get frustrated from time to time, but I'm doing all right. I haven't hurt anybody, so that's a victory.
Yeah, well, that's always a good thing. Everything's all right at work? Because I know you were having some issues with that.
Yeah, man. The solution to that is you just stop really caring.
Oh,
And not in a bad way. You just say, look, these are the things I have control over and these are not. And I'm not going to get upset about this anymore.
yeah,
And
Well-
then by about lunch, I'm upset about it.
yeah. I was about to say that's a good way to look at life, but then you got mad again. So,
Yeah, it's the goal.
yeah. So I'm gonna, if you want to sit with me for a few minutes, I'm gonna run through some of these. I got a list pulled up here because I didn't have any time to prepare for the show because I was stuck in the doctor's office for 4 hours for no reason. I did.
You could have done it there.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, but I was too mad.
Well, you didn't know how long you were going to be there.
Yeah, you're right. But anyway, I found this website. Let me give credit to whatever this website is. This is actually pretty cool. I've never heard of this before. It's called DraftTech, DraftTek.com. And you can go through any conference, any position group, anything, and they'll give you, their draft status and all that. So I pulled up the ACC, obviously. Is there any that you know from Georgia Tech? Is there anybody projected to go in the first round that you know of?
I don't want to talk about that.
So I guess the answer is no.
I don't think so. I would have to think about who they even have in the draft this year.
Yeah. So we'll run through this, and I want to point some things out that I noticed here, just sort of skimming through this. The way this works is they don't say, like, we project this player to go at this spot in the draft or this round or any of that, but they have them listed in order from the highest projected draft pick all the way down to the lowest. And they give you a ranking on their position, group, and overall, right? So here's what it is. We've got, of course, number one is going to be quarterback Drake May from the Tar Heels.
He'll feel like every other North Carolina quarterback that's been drafted.
Yeah, and this is constantly changing too, because I actually did pull this up to kind of just find a list in the doctor's office, and this is constantly changing. As you can see, for anybody who's watching and not just listening, you can see this guy Graham Barton down here from Duke. He's moved up 5 spots just since earlier this afternoon. But anyway, we got Drake May first in his position group in the ACC, 6th overall. Jared Verse from Florida State, edge rusher, 2nd in his position group, 15th overall. So that's a first round. Clemson's Nate Wiggins, cornerback, 3rd in his position group, 23rd overall. Graham Barton from Duke, offensive center, 4th in his position group, 30th overall. And then you start getting in, for those of you that are watching, you'll see there are a ton of Florida State players on this list, which is good for Florida State that they're having a bunch of players drafted, but not so good for the next season. They're losing a lot is what I'm trying to say here. I'm going to try to count them up here. Keon Coleman from Florida State, wide receiver. Brandon Fisk, defensive lineman from Florida State. Then we got Rook Aro from Clemson, defensive tackle. Peyton Wilson from NC State, outside linebacker. Trey Benson from Florida State, another Florida State guy, running back. Devontae Walker from North Carolina. Christian Mahogany from Boston College, offensive guard. Malik Washington from Virginia, wide receiver. Elijah Jones, Boston College, cornerback. I'm probably going to mispronounce this. I think it's Jarian Jones from Florida State. Cornerback. Hold on, let me check in. Okay, just making sure. See it all went back there.
CBN, is that cornerback nickel, I guess?
I guess so, yeah. Sort of a weird way to list that, but yeah. It's just like how they have OC as offensive center, you know.
Yeah, and then DL3T.
Yeah.
3 is. I guess T is tackle. 3 technique tackle. It's weird.
Yeah, it's very specific, isn't it? Dwayne, I didn't know that Little Wayne played for Duke last year. Did you know that? Dwayne Carter.
Yeah.
Jamari Thrash, wide receiver from Louisville. Jeremiah Trotter, inside linebacker from the Clemson Tigers. Cameron Kitchens, safety from Miami. Jaheim Bell, tight end from Florida State. Formerly, before that, actually was played for the University of South Carolina. Transferred to Florida State. Jarvis Brownlee Jr., cornerback from Louisville. Kalen Carson, cornerback from Wake Forest. Matt Gonclaves, offensive tackle from Pittsburgh. Cedric Gray, inside linebacker from North Carolina. Renardo Green, cornerback from Florida State. Will Shipley, running back from Clemson, and he's the 25th rated running back and 125th overall player. So 125th pick, if let's say this is accurate, obviously there's not a single ranking that is 100% accurate. What round would that put him in? 125th. There's 32 picks in each round, right? So whatever that is. You're the Georgia Tech guy. You're better at math than me.
I'm horrible at like arithmetic in my head.
Oh, okay. I think that's like the 4th round, something like that.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
All right. Johnny.
3 and 4 is 12, so I think you're right.
Johnny Wilson from Florida State, wide receiver. Malik Mustafa, safety from Wake Forest. And look at this. Jordan Travis all the way down at 28th for his position and 141st overall.
That's got to be due to the injury, right?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah. So, I mean, somebody's going to get him, take a chance on him, and if he ends up panning out, that'll be considered what they call a steal of the draft. You know what I mean?
I think he could be. People have come back from serious injuries like that. I'd love to see it. I don't wish anything bad on Florida State or Jordan Travis.
Oh yeah, I think he's a good guy. I like him, personally. I mean, he just wore the wrong jersey, but other than that, I like the guy. And I hate what happened to him.
Ugly. By the way, really quick sidebar.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about North Carolina and Jeff Collins blacking out their spring game to hide their defensive scheme and quarterback battle?
So I saw, it was either you or C-Dog tweeted that out. I can't remember who tweeted that out. So that's how I found out about it. And I didn't know if it was a troll job or if that was actually true. You're telling me that's true?
That's 100% true. Yeah, I did a whole video on it. And a fan of my channel lives in North Carolina and said he infiltrated. He snuck his cell phone in and infiltrated. So that's something else I got to put out, releasing the secret spring game. Yeah, they had to cut a deal with the ACC network because the ACC network had, obviously had a TV deal for that spring game. And I think they had to pay them something.
Well, if that's true, and what you're telling, I believe you, that's ridiculous. I mean, I've never heard of that before. I've heard the whole, what they say, like, if a team doesn't do good in the first 2 or 3 weeks of the regular season, they go, they're hiding their offense because they got to play so-and-so in week 5.
Yeah,
which is
common cope.
Yeah, but I have never in my life heard of blacking out a spring game, which is really just a spring practice that they let us watch, so that nobody sees your defensive scheme. Because you know what's going to happen, week 1, whoever they play week 1, everyone's going to see their defensive scheme then. Who do you play week 1?
Who do you think? I know, because I did a whole video about it. I said, who are they so scared of? It's a Big Ten team, I think.
I don't know.
Minnesota.
Oh, my God.
So then I said, what are you going to do then? Black out the rest of your games once you lose to Minnesota? That's their way out of the ACC. Like, hey, we don't need media rights because we're too afraid to air our games.
That's crazy.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, man, there's very few teams I can dunk on, but man, North Carolina makes it easy.
Yeah, and that's just that sounds like a very Jeff Collins type thing to do. But the fact that Mac Brown, signed off on that is more surprising than anything.
Well, I mean, how old is Mac Brown? He's like old enough to be that lady from the Titanics.
Well, that's true too. But I mean, as far as I know, North Carolina's never blacked out their spring game before Jeff Collins got there. So I'm blaming it on him.
I've never heard any team doing that.
No, I don't think it's how. This has got to be a first.
Because usually you just don't show your hand. Just have a very limited thing. Anyways, crazy.
That's just ridiculous. Also, it's a big middle finger to the fans. I mean, I know that you're not going to pack the stadium out for a spring game. No team does, but a lot of people do. I look forward to going to the spring game every year at Clemson. Been doing it for a long time.
Football. You get to see some football in the off season. You get to get excited about something.
Yeah, it's a whole day, and it's also good for the players. They get some recognition from the fans, and it's a whole thing. So that's weird. And also it's not going to work. Like they're not winning more games this season because they blacked out the spring game. That's not happening. Oh, where did I leave off? Oh, yeah, Jordan Travis. So James Williams, outside linebacker from Miami. Tyler Davis, defensive tackle from Clemson. He was a 6-year guy. He played at Clemson for a long time. He took advantage of the COVID, extension. Same thing with Xavier Thomas, edge rusher out of Clemson. He is another guy who battled a lot of injury problems. He was a 5-star defensive end coming out of high school, and he had some flashes of greatness, but most of the time he was on the sideline with some sort of injury. So, it doesn't surprise me that he's this far down the list because he is built like an NFL defensive end for sure. He's got all the intangibles. If he can stay healthy, that's the key there. Isaac Guerendo, running back from Louisville. Dylan McMahon, center from North Carolina State. You see a lot of offensive linemen on this list here, which doesn't surprise me.
A lot of centers.
Yeah, a lot of centers too. Javian Cohen, offensive guard from Miami. Leonard Taylor III, defensive line from Miami. Fabian Lovett, defensive line from Florida State. Another Florida State guy. MJ Devonshire, cornerback from Pittsburgh. Tatum Bethune, outside linebacker from Florida State. When we get done with this list here, it's not that much longer. I'm going to count up the Florida State players, and there's a bunch of them. Miles Murphy from North Carolina's defensive line. Matt Lee, a center from Miami. Bub Means, that's a hell of a name there. You ever hear when country people call, like Mr. Duggar Fishing on YouTube, on Traveling Fools channel, he calls everyone Bub. This guy's name actually is Bub.
Yeah, Bubba is kind of like a country. Hey, what's going on, Bubba?
Yeah, but he's from Pittsburgh, wide receiver. Akeem Dent, safety from Florida State. Storm Duck. Now that's an ibis, isn't it? Right?
Sounds like a golf course hole name or something, or a racehorse name.
Yeah, it sounds like a racehorse. That's right. But an ibis is known to be able to fly through hurricanes. They call them storm ducks, don't they? They named he went to the wrong school.
Calculated. Like his parents were like, "Well, our last name's Duck. I mean, we gotta."
That's a pretty cool name, though. Storm Duck. Cornerback from Louisville. Amari Gaynor, inside linebacker from North Carolina. Jawar Jordan, running back from Louisville. There's a bunch of Louisville guys on here, too, surprising. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. They had a good season last year. Jacob Monk, guard from Duke. Isaiah Johnson, safety from Syracuse. Michael Juergens, offensive guard from Wake Forest. Brian Hudson, another center from Louisville. Sheridan Jones, cornerback from Clemson. Will Putnam, the center from Clemson. Surprised he's even on this list, quite honestly. No, that's going to piss the tater people off. Joe Shimko. I don't even know what LS means.
Long snapper.
Oh, is that what that? Okay, long snapper, NC State. Brian Stevens, center from Virginia. DeCroy Couch. That must be cornerback nickel, like you said before. Miami, Florida. Jalen Phillips, safety from Clemson. Branson Dean, defensive line from Miami. Brennan Armstrong, quarterback from NC State. Look at this, 448th pick is what they're projecting. 448th.
How many total picks are there?
Well, that's a good question. We're getting towards the end here. I know that. That's got to be the 8th round or something. I think there's 9 rounds, right? Fireball says 12. 7 rounds? I think there's 9. Hell, I don't even know. Branson Dean, defensive line from Miami. Oh, I already said him. Phil Jerkovic, quarterback from Pittsburgh. Jaden Davis, cornerback from Miami. Jermaine Lowell, defensive line from Louisville. Now, this is just all the people that entered the draft. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be picked. Some of them probably won't be, but...
Hey, keep going. Keep going. We're getting to a good one.
I see it. A.J. Woods, cornerback from Pittsburgh. Hold on now. Let me give you something here. Here we go.
Huzzah!
And in the 2024 NFL Draft, with the 475th pick, whoever selects Dylan Leonard from Georgia Tech.
That's the steal of the draft right there.
There you go.
I really think he should have gone further up. And we all know tight end play at Georgia Tech in the past decade.
Yeah, that's tight end you right there. It is funny that the first person on this list is a tight end from Georgia Tech.
I think not last season, but the year before, we didn't have a tight end with a touchdown.
Wow.
Yeah, not a single one. And then Seether had 2 against North Carolina last year. So
well, they have 61 other tight ends in the draft rated ahead of him. So
this is just the anti-Georgia Tech media, dude. It's bullcrap.
Yeah. Miles Jones, cornerback from Duke. Kyle Hergel, offensive guard from Boston College. Hey, look, Paul Moala.
Now that's hilarious. He might literally be the worst linebacker I have ever seen play at any level.
Well, he's hoping somebody will take a chance on him. So you're saying there's a chance?
Everyone behind him should be pissed.
They probably are.
Plummer's behind him.
Do you have any idea how many players from Georgia Tech entered the draft?
I think maybe 4. I know we have a running back, Dante Smith, and then we have a safety, King, who actually I have his game-worn jersey behind me.
Huh.
That's his jersey.
Oh, cool. We'll get through. We're almost done here. Mario Kendricks, defensive line for Virginia Tech. Kalen DeLoach, outside linebacker, Florida State. Jack Plummer, old Plummer. Forgot about him. Quarterback from Louisville. Corey Gaynor, another center from North Carolina. Malcolm Epps, tight end from Pitt. Jalon Calhoun, wide receiver from Duke. Vinny Palama, inside linebacker from Boston College. Miles Sims. Is that who you're just talking about?
No, Jalen King, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So 2 in a row here. Milan Sims, a cornerback, and Jalen King, cornerback, both from Tech. Justin Mascall, edge rusher from Clemson. Connor Scaglione?
Yeah, he's a
Scaglio.
mafioso we picked up out of the Northeast.
Offensive guard. Tyler Harrell, wide receiver from Miami. Tavon Kyle, cornerback from Virginia. And last but very not least, John Pupil, or Pupple, might be Pupple, safety out of Boston College. Now, here's what I want to do. The team that shows up on this list the most by a long shot is Florida State. So let's count them. Again, this doesn't mean that all these players will get drafted. There'll probably be a few that don't, because there's only so many draft picks to go around, and there's always several players that don't get drafted to enter it. So, but we got one here. What's one? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 Florida State players on this list. And I think I'm not going to go through and count it, but I think a close second might actually be North Carolina. I saw a bunch of North Carolina players on this list too.
Well, if you hit Control F in Florida State, it'll tell you, or whatever school, it'll just say this is how many players.
Control F, you say?
Yeah, that's fine. So Control F, and then if you type in Florida State, it'll show you how many times that word appears on this website.
That would have been easier, wouldn't it? Oh yeah, well,
technology.
So it's 13, which is what I counted, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah. So I counted. I can at least do first grade math. That's good. What did I say? I think was a second. North Carolina. Let's try North Carolina. It says 2. No, that's not right. That's not right.
What's including North Carolina State too?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Because it has them. It's supposed to highlight them, and this one, like Miles Murphy's not highlighted. Yeah, I don't know.
I think if you put it in quotations, that's saying like I want exactly this.
You gotta put it in quotations now?
Oh yeah, dude, we're learning stuff.
Well, what the hell was? Let's see if that works. Why does it keep making that noise?
I don't know. Can I just tell you anything right now? Like, open up command line, type in this.
Open up command line?
Yeah.
Do you know who you're talking to?
Go to this website, download this.
Anyway, so it looks like, well, Florida State definitely has the most on this list, and they also definitely have the most first-round picks, and probably second-round picks. When you start getting down towards the later rounds, they start fizzling out. So, now, to be honest, I haven't paid too much attention to what's going on in the portal for each individual team, so I don't know what Florida State's doing in the portal this year. I'm assuming they're trying to do whatever they can do to replace a lot of these guys in the portal, and I know they got some pretty good players that came from Alabama. Between Alabama and Florida State rather, and Ohio State, they gobbled up a lot of those Alabama players that transferred out after Saban retired during the first transfer window. So,
well, they're not untalented. They retooled talent.
Guess who hasn't got anybody out of the portal?
Is it Clemson?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a hard guess, was it? Yeah, man, they've got nobody. They've had 2 players transfer out this week. One of them was somewhat of a surprise, and only because, and I don't even know, I honestly can't remember what the guy's name is, because I haven't had a chance to get to know him yet, because he just signed in December, and he's already transferring out.
We had 2 kids that did that. Like, it's crazy. You can be somewhere 4 months and just be like, yeah, this is a long enough time for me to realize this ain't gonna work out.
Yeah. We had a defensive lineman transfer, or 2 defensive linemen transfer out. But that one guy, that one kid in particular, he signed in December and transferred out the first chance he could get, earlier this week. or put his name in the portal. I say he transferred out. No one, as far as I know, no one's picked him up yet. But it wasn't even like. And here's what I don't understand about this. Because the recruiting process goes for some players goes on for 5 and 6 years. You know what I mean? They start recruiting some of these players start getting recruited in 7th and 8th grade. So you go through the entire 4 or 5 year, however long recruiting process, decide to sign with the team, and within 4 months you've changed your mind. And it wasn't even like I think he was a 3-star player. So I don't know what he expected. If you look at Clemson's defensive line, it's not I'm not saying it's the best in the country, but it's definitely up there, right? They're really talented. I don't know. Did he expect to start his first year or something? I don't know what happened there.
Well, he's not played a down, right? I mean, this is the crazy thing. It's not like you've gone through the season and like, okay, I'm not going to play. You haven't played a down of football. Yeah, I mean, he was, and again, it wasn't like he was a 4 or 5-star guy either. So, I mean, he's a developmental player. His plan should have been to play sometime in his junior year, probably. He probably would have been redshirted this year. Maybe that's what pissed him off. I don't know. But he shouldn't have been expecting to play either this year or even next year. So, but in my experience with the transfer portal, these guys that sign with the team in December and then transfer out in April, doesn't matter where they go. Most likely those, and I don't know. He might be a great kid, might be the best freaking defensive end in the history of defensive ends for all I know. I have no idea, but in my experience, people that do that, wherever they go, they don't really have that much success. You know, it's not a good look. And I think that I read the NCAA just came up with the rule. You might have seen this too. Basically, you can transfer anytime you want as long as you're academically eligible, which to me implied you could transfer before and not be academically eligible. So could you just never go to a class and just keep transferring and playing? Well, now it's just wide open because, now we went from, if you transfer, no matter what your reason for transferring was, you had to sit out a year to, all right, well, now you can transfer no matter what, to now it's just, you can transfer no matter what at any time. Yeah. Well, as long as the transfer window is open and be immediately eligible. Yeah. As many times as you want too. Because it went from you had to sit out a year to, well, or if you could only transfer one time, but the second time you transferred, then you had to sit out, to now it's just, it doesn't matter. You can transfer as many times as you want, anytime you want. The debate is up whether or not that's good for the sport or not. I don't think it's good for the sport, but the real question is it good for the player? Is it fair? And I think it's too early to know that. I don't. Is it fair to the player? I don't know. I mean, I guess so. You have more freedom to do what you want. Is it in the long run going to work out for that player? Probably not. Well, I mean, again, I think it's a bad look. I don't know that I would want a guy that just transfers every year on my team. You know. No. I think they're just going to have contracts eventually. Like, you're just going to have to sign a contract. Here are the terms to break it. I mean, if the schools can directly pay them now, which they can, it seems like. Yeah, well, pretty much. Well, there you have. Oh, hold on. I don't know how long you've been back there. I apologize. Welcome to the show. Hey, buddy.
What's up?
How you doing?
Good. I've been back here a while. I was just chilling.
I'm sorry. I had to move on and start the show without you because you weren't here. It was like 10 after 7. So
I texted you.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was over at my house. Me and my wife and my papa, who's our contractor, we had to go over to the house and talk about like the windows and stuff that what we're gonna do with them.
So you weren't stuck in a doctor's office for 4 hours for no reason?
No.
Oh. All right. I was.
I have had that happen as well, though.
You've had that happen as well?
Oh, yeah.
Did you handle it as well as I did?
Probably not.
Yeah, I didn't handle it well. Oh.
Yeah, neither did I.
It's been a while since we've done the ACC show.
Yeah, it's been a month. I was out of town for a couple of weeks, and then the past 2 weeks. See, here's the thing, and this I haven't really said anything because it's not anybody's business, and I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses either. So I want to apologize to you for not doing the show for a month, but like I said, with everything that's going on with my mom, she told me, because she's going to the doctor or hospital, 2 and 3 times a week for the past couple of months. You said, what days are best for me to make my appointments where you could take me? And I told her Tuesdays, because that's just the best day for me. Yeah. Outside of YouTube even. And so it seems like every Tuesday I'm taking her somewhere. So I was proactive and just saying, you know what, the last 2 weeks I just can't do it because I don't want to commit to the show and have, and then have to cancel it and all that. I didn't expect what happened today to happen. So, but I made it home. I made it home at 6:58 and fired the stream up at 7. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I missed the beginning of it.
Slim, something's going on with your
I missed the beginning of it because I just had to
Slim, something's going on with your connection. Do you want to drop out and come back in, or are y'all hearing that too, or is it just me?
Yeah, I was hearing it.
All right. Robot Slim.
Yeah. Well, you know me, I've been dealing with my house and these kittens.
What you got going on? Are you in like a shelter now?
Yeah.
That's a cute kitten, which they all are, but
Yeah, it's one of them. One of the 5.
5?
Anybody? Yeah, 5 kittens this bitch had. Get out of here.
So hold on. One of your cats had kittens, or you just found them on the side of the road, or what?
She was a stray, and she came up to our house, our camper, and I've been letting her stay. I let her stay and have her babies in here. This is like a laundry room. Nothing about my setup right now is ideal.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad, actually. I have to go. Aw.
That cat's smart. That cat was pregnant and homeless, and was walking around the neighborhood and said, "Which one of these houses can I find a sucker to take me in?" And she found your house.
I'm always the sucker for these cats, dude. And it's always at the worst time. Like I had kittens that I had kittens when I was like moving out of my house too. They just keep showing up. And
Yeah, because the words got out around town that you'll take them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So
now you got a bunch of kittens you're trying to get rid of. Is that what it is?
Anybody in the comment section is in need of kittens, let Sea Dog know, please, for God's sake.
Don't say that.
5 of 'em.
Hey,
got 5 of 'em.
I hope my kids aren't listening.
Pete's children, Pete Jr.
No.
Attention. Pete Jr. and Pete Jr.
No, we ain't got no room left. No vacancy.
They're so cute. They're so adorable. They're the best kitties you've ever seen.
No vacancy. He does. Yeah, Nature Boy sounds. Your kitten sounds like a mogwai. Do you know what a mogwai is?
No.
This is a generational gap here. I can tell. Does anybody else know what a mogwai is? Rick Talk, you don't know what a mogwai is?
A mogwai?
Yeah.
I don't understand it, so I'm just gonna get upset. I don't know.
Yeah, so some people in the chat got it. Jay Shipes got it. Gremlin. You ever seen the Gremlins before?
When I was like a little kid, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't. Is that another name for gremlin?
Do you know who Gizmo is in the Gremlins?
It's been a long time since I've seen.
Oh no, this is disappointing.
When I was like a little baby kid, I watched it, and I didn't like it.
You didn't like it,
No.
bro?
I still love you, but I don't like you, bro.
I liked freaking Power Rangers when I was a kid. I didn't like stupid.
Oh
Gremlins.
my God, Power Rangers.
I was a Power Ranger fanatic when I was a little kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Gizmo was a mogwai. That if you fed him after midnight or got him wet, then he spawned off the gremlins.
Oh, the bad gremlin.
Yeah, the gremlins. He wasn't a gremlin. He was a mogwai.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Wait.
yeah.
Mogwais are different. They're like another sect of gremlin.
No. A mogwai is a mogwai, and a gremlin's a gremlin.
Well, that's great news.
This is disappointing.
Sorry, man.
I had a Trans Am with a what? A band opting spark ignition. I have no idea what you're speaking Chinese to me. That I called a gremlin. Couldn't get it wet. We had this conversation the other day. Do you know what have you seen Nate's new haircut? No. Or not hair. Well, he got a haircut and a hair dye job.
Ooh.
He's got a blonde faux hawk.
No.
Yes.
Winning.
Oh my God.
He's got a blonde faux hawk, and I made the comment that he looks like the head gremlin. His name was Spike. All the gremlins don't have hair except for Spike. Spike has a blonde faux hawk or a mohawk, or one of the two. But it looks just like Nate's haircut.
Wow.
Well, I think the women are going to be flooding in now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's epic to say the least.
I haven't seen this. I need to go. Where can I see this?
From the front, he looks like Spencer Rattler. He looks like a even more light-skinned Spencer Rattler. From the side, he looks like Spike from the Gremlins.
That's rough. Wow. If someone told me that, I would fight them immediately.
It actually doesn't look that bad from the side, but let me see if I can find a picture here. Spike from the Gremlins. This will bring back some memories for a lot of you. There you go. So here you go. This is a good explanation. Can y'all see the screen on YouTube?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So the guy I have highlighted right here, that's a Mogwai. That's Gizmo right here.
Wait, who's paying $250 for a gremlin thing?
Well, a super nerd. So that's Gizmo, and that's Spike. See, he's got the blonde mohawk going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
There you go. Nate.
That's what Nate looks like.
Yeah. I'm gonna start calling him Spike.
Mrs. Peete, it's pollution, taking pollution down to zero.
Wow.
So did you hear the list that I read out about the draft players? Sea-Dog?
No. I joined like when y'all were talking about it.
Did you see Paul Mola is ahead of Jake Plummer?
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah, like 445 or something.
Did you explain to him how bad Paul Mola is?
I did, yes.
He did. He said he was the worst. What position does he play?
Linebacker.
Linebacker. He said he was the worst linebacker he's ever seen.
It was pretty bad, man. Like, it was pretty bad. I mean, yeah.
Now, the good news is, because there was so many Florida State players on there, I think that's not good for Florida State. Anytime a team like Florida State has that many players that are going to be drafted, that's a lot of great players to replace after the season they had. On the other hand, if you're Georgia Tech, and you have that few players drafted, I think that bodes well for you going into the 2024 season, which means you're returning a lot of players.
Yeah, we return a lot for sure. I'm looking forward to this year. And we retained almost all of our staff. But our OC was, orchestrated the big turnaround from last year. He stayed. We were able to hang on to him. And we kept our quarterbacks coach, and the only coach we lost was our receivers coach.
Oh, we fired our whole defensive staff, but that was our choice.
So we retain almost our entire staff, but we fired the entire defensive staff. How does those two things coexist?
I'm talking about our offensive staff.
Oh,
which was good, which was really good last year. What I'm saying is, we kept a lot of what made our offense good last year, which is exciting. In this day and age, we're used to being just picked apart,
So, as far as the transfer, the transfer portal's only been open since Monday, I think. Or no, last
Tuesday.
Okay, last Tuesday. So for a week now. Have you got any commits out of the transfer portal?
Yeah, we got a top, I wouldn't say top DN, but we got a really good DN from Southern Cal, Romello Height, which is position we really needed.
Yeah, former 4-star. We are in desperate need of defensive linemen. We had 10 or 11 of them leave, and we've only brought in 2 or 3.
10 or 11 of them transfer?
Yeah.
Wow, that's not good.
Not good.
Or maybe it is good. I don't know if you're saying if they're that bad, but.
We kept 2 of our starters, but the rest of them left, man. All the backups and the rest of the starters, it's bad.
Wow.
So, but we have brought in 2 that I'm really excited about. That USC transfer and the guy from Penn State too.
Yeah, I actually did hear about him. Yeah.
Jordan Vanderberg.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited about those 2, and I was listening to the guys, the media guys that cover Georgia Tech for 247 or whatever it is, and they were saying that they feel good about the starters, but the problem is depth. We don't have any backups at all. We have nobody behind them.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, not good at all.
And your schedule is not exactly favorable, if I remember correctly. I'd have to pull it up to.
No, we play Georgia, Notre Dame, Florida State, NC State, Miami,
and we don't play Clemson.
You don't play Clemson, yeah.
Hell, for the first time in 100 years.
Yeah.
Freaking play it.
I know you're mad about that.
Yeah, I know you don't care, but
I don't really care. No, it's not that I'm not mad about it. I'm indifferent to it.
Yeah,
that's worse.
Is it though?
Yeah.
The opposite of love is not hate; it's indifference.
Yeah, if you have a nasty breakup with a girl and then she just doesn't care, as opposed to she's mad, that hurts way worse.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I don't mean any disrespect by it because I'll tell you right now, I am on the outside when it comes to Clemson people. My opinion is definitely on the fringe when it comes to that. Most Clemson fans really do care. I just don't.
Well, at the very least, it's a shame that we have played for the past forever and now we aren't.
You're vicking us.
I just don't care.
That's messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't look at it that way, but now you say it out loud, I understand.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to rehash this too much because we talked about it at the top of the show, but we were talking about, or Rec Talk was explaining to us how that the North Carolina game was blacked out because Jeff Collins didn't want people to see the defensive scheme.
Let me tell you something right now. I'm usually make really bad predictions. That is going to be a disaster. North Carolina, I think, could possibly miss a bowl this year.
I tend to agree with you there. Based on their schedule, all the players that they're having to replace, and the disaster that is Jeff Collins. Now, I'm not saying Jeff Collins is a bad defensive coach because I don't think that he is. But this kind of thing is just silly.
Yeah.
Pete thought that I was trolling them.
Yeah. When I read that on Twitter, I thought I thought you were just trying to take like the easy layup shot. But like, here's what I thought originally. When I read that, I go, "Oh, the game got blacked out for some other scheduling reason or something else." I didn't think it had anything to do with that. I thought you were just kidding.
I did too.
That's the thing with Jeff Collins. His decision making is so awful that you're like, is that real? He didn't really do that, did he?
He didn't really have the players chasing each other around with pool noodles, did he? Yeah, he did.
Or lifting weights on the sidelines during a game. Hey, like a bench presses out there and it curl bars and
They are going. I think that you know what the Jeff Collins. I think I've said this before. I'm not sure if I've said it on here. The Jeff Collins hire at North Carolina reminds me of like Jimbo hiring Bobby Petrino as offensive coordinator, like in his last year at Texas A&M.
Like a desperate attempt.
Like a desperate, yeah.
Maybe. Now, I will say, I don't think North Carolina is going to be very good, but I don't think it's because of Jeff Collins. I mean, he might have something to do with it, but
I think the defense is going to be bad still. It's not going to fix it. And I think their offense is going to fall off tremendously after losing Drake May.
Do you guys start out the season in Ireland?
Yeah.
Yes, and I don't like that.
Against Florida State?
Yeah, week 0.
That's a home game for us.
We have 3 freaking bye weeks this year.
So how many home games do you have? Actually in Atlanta?
Well, there's one in the Benz, if you count that, and then one in Ireland, which I don't count those two, so I guess that leaves...
It's like 5.
5, yeah, because there's usually 7 home games for every Power 5 team. Yeah. And one of those home games is against this gentleman's team.
Miami. Are we going to go to that game, Slim?
Yeah, I'm still planning on it.
I want to go. I'll go with y'all.
Those tickets are so expensive for the Florida game. I might not even go to that one.
Yeah.
You should do that. I even said I would consider trying to go to that if I you know what? I have never been at a game in Bobby Dodd before.
It's a cool place, especially if it's at night. The night games are awesome because you have the skyline in the background,
Rec Talk, you have season tickets, right?
I do.
So when you buy a season ticket package for Georgia Tech and you have a game in Mercedes-Benz and you have one in Ireland, does that include that or just the ones in Atlanta? I mean, just the ones in Bobby Dodd.
So I go with a donor, so he buys the tickets. I don't actually buy them, but the Mercedes-Benz ones are included. I don't think Ireland. Maybe it is.
They have packages, I think, where you can get them separate.
Yeah, it's like $4 or $5 grand for like a package.
$4 or $5 grand?
Well, you got to pay a plane ticket, hotel ticket. Like
okay. For the Ireland game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought okay.
Everything included with it.
That still seems high.
I don't think it was that expensive, was it? It was like 3, right?
The top. Thank you. The top tickets were that, but like some of them included like tours, a round of golf, like a whole bunch of stuff. Like it's actually not that bad. It's just like, what if we lose though? Like I would hate to spend $5 grand and then get on a plane after we lost.
Yeah.
Like, God.
Well, see, that's why you make like a week-long trip out of it. That way it's somewhat worth it.
See, Adam Dowling in the chat, he's a Notre Dame fan. He says that $4 or $5 grand for that package is actually cheap. That doesn't sound cheap to me. I mean, because how much? If I'm not going to do it, but if I went online right now and tried to get a round trip plane ticket to Ireland, how much would that cost me? Do you think?
I don't know, but cheap is one of those many things in life that is all about perspective.
Right.
They're probably $1 grand or more for the plane ticket.
All right, so let's say $1,000. Let's make it a round number. $1,000 for a plane ticket. I don't know what hotels in Ireland cost. Depends on where you want to stay. Obviously, if you want to stay at the cheapest rundown hotel, it's not going to cost you that much. If you want to stay at a nice one, it's going to cost you more. But let's just say, for argument's sake, $100 a night.
I would actually double that plane ticket, to be honest with you, because I already looked up flights from March from Memphis to Orlando, and that's like $600 round trip.
He says that package doesn't include the flight.
Yeah, it does.
Oh.
Or I think it does. I mean, I haven't been interested enough to look, but I would hope it does. But there ain't no way your hotel room's $100 a night unless
Why not?
you're sleeping with cockroaches. Because you can't get a hotel room here for $100 a night.
Yeah, of course you can.
I've worked for companies that beg to differ, sir.
Okay, yeah, if it's by the hour, you can probably get one for, $100 for the night.
All right, 200 a night. So let's say you stay 3 nights. That's 600. So now that we're at $1,000 for the plane ticket, $600 for a hotel. That's 1,600. How much would a game ticket cost? A couple hundred.
Let's just say $250 for the tickets.
All right. So now we're up to $1,850. I'm still trying to figure out where the $4,000 comes from. That's it. That seems like.
I think you're being way too lenient on the flight. Like I said, I mean, for March down to Orlando, I looked up a round trip ticket, and that was $600 a person. And that's from Memphis to Orlando.
All right,
That's a
$2,000 for the plane ticket, $200 a night for the thing, and $200 for the ticket. You're still coming in under $3,000.
Okay, I was a little off, so I'm going to send you this. Let me snip this because I pulled up the package. It's $39.10 per person. All right, 4-star hotel, 6 nights, ticket, and I don't know what an exclusive welcome experience is if they play with your wiener or something, but whatever that is.
Yeah, you get a leprechaun to tickle your tank.
If that's true, there's no amount I wouldn't pay for it. But I'm gonna send this to your Twitter, Pete. It doesn't include the plane ticket, though. It doesn't look like.
I don't know. I feel like if you went outside of that package, you could still do it for cheaper. I mean, if you're frugal and you don't want to stay at the Hyatt.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could piece it all together.
Maybe it's just like an all-around luxury trip, and it's worth it if you want to do that. But
let me look at what a flight costs.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That's why I was late. I was picking up my phone. I had to get a new screen put on it.
Sid Irish says Dublin is fun. Now, listen, if Clemson were to play in Ireland, and I think aren't they scheduled to play a game in Ireland sometime in the next 5 or 6 years? I think they might be. I would consider going. First of all, I would go to Ireland whether there's a football game there or not. Go back to my homeland and whatnot. Never been there. Want to go.
You're Irish?
See, something tells me though.
Do you know what my name is? I had the most Irish name in the world. Outside of John Kennedy, our boy always Irish.
I don't feel well.
McGregor?
Jesus, life shouldn't be that stressful. If this is my show 2 weeks in, by week 10, I'm going to be doing the show from a casket. Look down in the bayou.
I would love to go to Ireland.
I've been to the motherland.
Well, we saw what you wore to the Slob Olympics, so yeah, we know. That's probably where you bought that getup.
Now, see, I'll say this, though. I think just for YouTube video purposes, Pete making a trip to UC Berkeley would be much more interesting.
No. I get more mad there than I was at the doctor's office today.
Why, Pete? What's wrong
that's the whole point.
Yeah.
You know exactly what's wrong with them.
Well,
right?
yeah, come on now. But me getting mad is fun for you, Slim. It's not fun for me, though.
I said it would be great for your YouTube career. I didn't say it would be great for your blood pressure.
Well, YouTube doesn't matter if I'm dead from a heart attack.
Be a hell of a last video, though.
I mean, as much as me and Rick disagree on things, even he would look at those fucks with a crazy look over there.
I had someone write me an email because I said that I wish we could just remove California, South Florida, and New York from the country. And someone wrote like a 3-paragraph email to me, like, what's your problem?
Hey, Slim, you're going to like this. So I have a nephew that goes to UC Berkeley.
Oh, wow.
And also his mother, my sister. While we were sitting in the doctor's office today waiting for 4 hours, my mom was going through the photos on her phone. And she goes, you know, your sister was in Dubai a couple weeks ago for a climate. Well, first of all, you don't know anything about my older sister, but she works for a renewable energy company, like a climate change company.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get Slim mad.
I know. Listen to this. She goes, look who she took a picture with. It was John Kerry.
Hadn't heard that name in a while.
Yeah.
No, I can actually one up you, Pete. We sat in the waiting room for a little over 5 hours while she was in labor with the last one.
That's different.
Yeah, you got
No, not really.
set up with that.
That wasn't a scheduled appointment that was made 6 months ago at a private practice doctor.
Actually, it was a scheduled appointment. It just so happened that a low pressure front came through that night and actually sent about a dozen people into labor.
Hold on now. What now?
From what the doctor said, it's actually been known to happen. A low pressure front can come through, and if you're real close to term, it'll go ahead and make labor kick in, apparently.
So there's
pressure
just like,
differential sucks the baby out.
I guess so.
Don't ask me. That's just what the doctor told me. I was like, okay.
So you were sitting in a waiting room full of pregnant ladies about to pop out a baby?
Yeah, oh yeah. For over
Damn,
5
this cold
hours.
front.
Was it like a barbershop where you just take a number and wait on your turn? Or what? I mean, how does that work?
I think because so many people came in, pretty much. Like,
Yeah.
she was scheduled to go in that day anyway because she was due. Like, I mean, her due date was like 3 days away or whatever, but that's just the date that they were able to schedule.
Wow. Yeah, I would have been mad too. Believe me.
Yeah, especially since, you know, she's trying to crush my hand every time a contraction comes.
Did she consider that? Like, did she apologize to you for that?
I haven't gotten an apology to this day. And let's see, she turned 18 months old last Monday.
I'm talking about your wife for squeezing your hand too hard.
Yes, 1.5 years, and I haven't gotten an apology out of that yet.
I didn't get an apology today, which is what made me even more mad. No, I didn't get one single we're sorry, sir, anything, none of that.
No, neither did
Not
I.
one.
I mean, the OB come in whistling Dixie like he didn't have a care in the world.
Yeah, they don't care. Who said that? Somebody said full moon. Sid Irish said, is that like a full moon or something? I was under the impression that the moon is what made women have their periods.
I thought the moon was made out of cheese.
That's actually true, though, Pete.
I think it is too.
But then somebody also told me the moon isn't real because it's not in the firmament.
Well, it's a
Or the
hologram.
filament. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I can't keep
thought
up with
it
their
was a
bullshit.
Spotlight. I thought it was it's just a big
Spotlight.
up there.
I've heard spotlight. I've heard cheese. I've heard hologram. I mean, anything you can imagine, I've heard. Because I'm a total degenerate who goes down the rabbit hole of, flat
How
Earth.
did you get on that? Because that's a very
Listen,
low-hanging fruit. Yeah,
but YouTube is a portal to many rabbit holes that we don't even want to begin to discuss today.
I'm embarrassed to admit the amount of time I've watched flat Earth videos. If I told you the amount of hours I've watched it, you wouldn't even believe it.
No, I do. I do the same thing because it's like, damn, I feel a lot smarter all of a sudden. That's my bad.
Yeah. Well, I've said before, it doesn't surprise me how many people believe. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that somebody believes it. It surprises me how many people believe it.
And apparently it's like gaining traction too.
Yeah, because there's a lot of dumb people in the world.
I feel like that's because people want to feel like they're on the inside of something. Like, oh, I've got.
That's exactly what it is, Rec Talk. You nailed, you hit it right on the head. You nailed it. People want to think that they know something that other people don't know. The problem is that when it comes to conspiracies and stuff like that, some of them, important ones, very important ones, are true, but they get overshadowed because there's so many that aren't true.
Yeah.
They get drowned out. It's a numbers game.
And the whole spying thing, like that was, people said was a conspiracy theory that was confirmed. And now people, their attention is on the earth is flat.
Well, unfortunately, somebody actually did tell us about a lot of this shit, but they just focus on the gay frogs instead.
Well, see, that's one that is true, but it's not a gay frogs. It's just, it's a scientific fact that certain chemicals can turn certain frogs homogenous. But then it got turned into gay frogs somehow.
Turning the frogs gay.
And actually, if you go look up the original video, he actually is talking about the chemical and what it's doing. But of course, I mean, everybody knows the internet's like a big game of telephone. By the time it gets back around to you, the story's changed so much.
Well, I mean, he also looked at Joe Rogan and said, I think I might be retarded.
I say that all the time. Clearly, I'm not retarded, but I say it all the time, too. I mean, maybe I am. I don't know. I might be mildly retarded.
I mean, in his defense, on that episode of Rogan, I think he was both high and drunk.
That helps.
That'll make you retarded.
It'll make you mildly retarded, that's for sure.
Is there like a test we can take on the show and see like how close we are?
Oh, there's got to be.
Well, I mean, an IQ test.
That'd be good content.
We did the first year of the Slob Olympics. We all took IQ test on some IQ test website. God knows how legitimate that was. But to me, it does seem somewhat legitimate. Chess Hall scored a 58 or 59, which is, I don't know. Is that retarded? I think it might be.
Yeah, that's 100% retarded.
I scored a 120.
I think 70 or 75 is the cutoff.
I scored a 120. I scored a 126, which is above average intelligence. I think anything over 112 or something is above average.
Jeez,
yeah.
Now you want to feel like an idiot, Pete?
What?
My oldest daughter scored 125 on an IQ.
Well, that doesn't make me feel like an idiot. Maybe she's smart.
Well, either she's smart or you're the same. You're as smart as a 7-year-old. One or the other.
D4 scored like a 160. I mean, he's a genius.
Yeah, that's like top 0.00.
That's like didn't Albert Einstein score like a 170? He's almost Albert Einstein, I think.
All D4 did was just study the questions and.
Yeah.
You can't study for an IQ test.
Yeah, you can.
No,
There's
you
a way
can't.
to like pass it. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Are you saying he cheated?
I mean,
no, it's not cheating. It's a valid strategy.
That's a test you can't study for because there's not a clear cut answer. It's how you answer the question as opposed. There's no right answer. It's how you answer it.
There's like a technique.
Oh, well.
Can we go back? You said chess had a 58?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like severely retarded.
Well, that checks out. So I mean, I'm just saying.
I think chess might actually be the dumbest person I've ever met.
Like Forrest Gump could academically walk circles around him.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Well, he did say this.
Clemson fans piss me off.
I miss chess. He was pretty entertaining.
Is he just wrestling?
Was he though?
I mean, listen. We all know that the Slob Olympics obviously only attracts the best and brightest amongst the internet.
Clearly.
Yeah, Google started recruiting last year, didn't they? Out of the Slob Olympics.
They did.
Pete doesn't study. He copied all my shit in high school. How is that possible? We never had a class together, and you were in a different grade than me.
Ooh.
How did I copy you?
You were dedicated.
Is that Mrs. Pete?
Yeah.
Mrs. Pete, tell your kids that they want a new kitten.
No.
Yeah. Tell him.
No.
Tell them. For some reason, Pete won't relay my message to them.
Yeah.
So it's up to you.
What message?
Pete, listen. Pete's got enough problems. All right, one of them's already going vegan on him.
No, vegetarian.
That can't be.
Whoa.
Well, potato.
No.
Are you concerned?
Concerned about what? The only thing I'm concerned about is having to buy extra food for him, which I'm not doing.
It is annoying. I have been with people.
Listen, I bet Pete dollars to donuts. I said it's over a girl. I guarantee it.
I tend to agree with you. He won't tell me whether it is or not, but I tend to agree with you. I mean,
Well,
that's basically. With him not wanting to tell you, that's basically confirmation.
yeah, I think so too.
Oh, Mrs. Pete says pescatarian, so he eats fish. That's it.
Yeah, well, whatever. Same difference.
I thought pescatarian was like a denomination of like.
The pescatarian church.
It means I won't eat any kind of meat except for fish.
No, that's Episcopalian, not.
Episcopalian.
Yeah, because when I was a kid for elementary school, I went to a private school. I went to a pescatarian private school.
Wait, what?
We had like
Say that again?
Episcopalian.
You'll get there in a second.
We had like chapel and stuff on Thursdays.
I think Sea Dog's retarded too.
Well, since I'm a betting man, I love to bet. Does anybody want to take any bets on how long this whole pescatarian thing will last with him? I'm going to say...
Just cook some bacon up.
I think a good over and under to set is 8 months.
No, way under.
Way under, you think?
I'd say
Yeah.
about a month and a half.
I'm going with Rec. I'm saying less than 2 months.
Well, I don't know how persistent he is. I was just guessing your level of persistence.
At his age, I would have changed so fast for a girl. I would have done anything to get a girlfriend at that age.
Well, I've done a lot worse things, or a lot more extreme things.
I went to the store. This is funny. I actually went to the store and bought a Tennessee hat because this girl.
Oh my God! Damn, Des.
It's dying, right? Oh my God! Dying, right? Oh my God!
I can't believe you even just admitted that.
It started. That's what started it all, didn't it? That was the first
I missed it.
hat I bought. Yeah.
What did you do?
I went to.
He became a Tennessee fan for a chick.
Yeah, she was a Tennessee fan, so I went and bought a Tennessee hat.
Oh my God.
There's worse things. Like I don't mind Tennessee. I would do that.
No, I think worse things is being a Georgia Tech fan.
It's fun. It's funny because I do that now with every other team too.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't surprise me. You bought every other team's hat in America and wore it.
Right.
Yeah, that's funny.
The difference is,
He's got to be rolling in money now that he's not buying every other team's hat.
Yeah.
Well, he's bought them all.
Yeah.
well, he claims he got rid. He claims he got rid of them.
Yeah,
Did
I'm
you
not
get him
doing
on
it.
a homeless shelter or something?
Guess what? The first season I stopped doing it, they didn't win a natty. I'm telling you, I was a direct freaking correlation.
So it's all your fault.
But that was only one team, Sea Dog. What about the other 18 teams you bought hats for?
Huh?
You heard me.
No, he's saying
bought
once
all
he
the-
stopped buying opponents' hats of Georgia, they didn't win a natty.
Well, I took that to mean once I stopped buying Georgia hats, they didn't win a natty. But what about the other teams?
I don't have any Georgia hats. What are you talking about?
Did you have a Michigan hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, they won a natty last year.
Yeah, but yeah, but I would wear the other team's hat to cheer against Georgia, which caused them to win.
Sounds to me like karma.
Sounds to me like he's delusional.
Whatever it was, I cut that shit out and it worked. They didn't win a natty, so
That is true.
And see, and I keep telling Florida State fans, that's why they got left out of the playoffs. Karma. Get that fucking frat boy off that horse and get you a real engine.
Racism is why they got left out.
I'm going to call it cultural appropriation. I'm not going to call it racism.
Is that going to be in the new metric for deciding, like, you know, they added like injury and stuff now. Like if you engage in cultural appropriation.
What was the ring that they just got made? What did it say on it? You guys know?
It was like 13-0. Fuck it. I love that. They left out the bowl loss.
Yeah.
I think it said state champs on one side.
No,
it
it didn't.
They beat Florida and Miami.
No, there was a slogan on it, and I forget what it said. Does somebody in the chat know what it said? I'd have to go to my Twitter to find out.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter, but I only glanced at it and just kept on scrolling because I thought it was.
Unconquered. Now, according,
said you corrupted her.
It said unconquered on the side. Now, according to Florida State fans, and they might be right. I don't know because I'm not a Florida State fan. They say that's a school mantra. That's a saying, sort of like Clemson with all in and all that. So maybe that's true. I don't know. But you already get a conference championship ring anyway. Why make a second one?
Well, I mean, even if it is like a school motto or whatever, that's a shitty school motto. The Seminoles were conquered. That's why they're on the reservation.
Damn. That's true. Damn.
Not too many Seminoles left.
Oh.
Yeah, but there may not be many left. But I promise you, they can give one of them that scholarship that motherfucker on that damn horse gets.
They choose a new. It's a certain. It's sort of like the mascot, right? Like they choose a person that dresses up like the mascot every year. But
like you legitimately get a scholarship to be the mascot.
I don't know. It was like 2 years ago or 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember. You know, on game day, how they do specials on people. They did a special on the guy whoever the guy was that was Chief Osceola that was riding a horse. He was whiter than me, and I'm Irish. He was. Right. He was less Indian than what's her face.
Pocahontas.
Pocahontas.
Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah. I mean, the guy rode around on that horse for 5 minutes and was sunburned.
Well, and like Lou pointed out, I think it was on the Lunch Money show. I've heard the same thing on Twitter from Florida State fans. Well, the original Chief Osceola was half white, so it's okay.
That's not true either.
No, it's not.
Chief Osceola wasn't half white. Stop it with that.
According to Florida State man on Twitter, he was.
No, he wasn't.
How do you think they choose? Because I'm sure a lot of people want to be that guy at Florida State.
They choose the one white guy who's dumb enough to want to be that guy. That's who. and the only one that knows how to ride a horse.
Build a teepee really quick.
Well, much like that Oklahoma wagon, not all of them know how to ride a horse.
Oh, that's a good point.
I've seen that horse come tumbling down a time or two.
At the game?
Oh, yeah.
That's a disaster waiting to happen, too. Just like the Oklahoma thing.
Yeah, because they make the horse rear up.
Yeah. Eventually, he's going to fall off, and he's going to be like that guy. You know that guy that set himself on fire a few days ago? But this time it's going to be an accident. The horse is going to rear up. He's going to get bucked off. He's going to have that flaming spear in his hand. It's going to land on him and catch him on fire, and then it's going to be a whole. Oh my God! How could this happen? This is such a disaster. No.
How ironic would it be if he skewered himself with the spear?
Like the spirits have made it happen.
I mean, I'm all about some irony here, man.
Like poltergeist or something.
It's been a girl before. There was a girl Chief Osceola.
Wow,
well, that's next. Well, the next one's going to be somebody who identifies as a girl on there. That's the next one.
I'd watch that.
I'd watch it just to see that horse bounce up and down, see what happens up top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, does a female Chief Osceola have a different uniform? That's the question.
I think you'd have to.
Well, eventually that horse is going to go rogue. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, and they ride it bareback, right? Like it doesn't have a saddle or anything on it.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they try to do it, true to form.
Grab its hair.
They actually have some reins. I'll give them that.
I mean, I do think it's a pretty cool entrance. I'm not gonna lie, but it's just. I'm telling you, it's just a matter of time, and everyone's gonna act surprised when it does happen, and say, the horse bucks the person off, and the guy gets hurt, breaks his back, breaks his leg, breaks his neck, whatever it is, and everyone's gonna go, "Oh my God, I can't believe this happened." It's like, well, what'd you think was gonna happen?
Listen, okay, you need to go ahead and cut that out. I've already started the petition to have a tiger on the sidelines for every Clemson game.
That's not happening.
Oh yeah, they're gonna paint the stripes purple.
No.
Well, if the guy does get hurt, do you think they have an understudy ready? You're like, all right, your time to shine.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's a good question. Do they have a backup?
Yeah, like a backup quarterback. Like put him in the game.
Go run that horse down that just brutally murdered that guy. And
We have a backup car.
A backup car.
We've got multiple rambling wrecks.
Well, I mean, what's going to happen to the original one? That would why would there even be a need for a backup?
What if it combusted?
Well, it blew up.
Cars break down, Pete. Have you never had a car break down?
I mean,
They take care of that thing big time.
yeah, exactly.
There's like a whole club dedicated to it. But
I still think the funniest picture ever was, I think it was 87 or 88, Miami's mascot chasing down the dude on the horse with a fire extinguisher and getting tackled by Tallahassee PD.
that is funny.
That is great. That's better than a streaker.
That really is.
Actually,
he had on like a fire jacket and everything too.
that sounds planned. But it would be funny if somebody just went rogue and just ran out there with a fire extinguisher and blew that shit out.
I mean, he pre-planned it.
That's probably what would happen.
I don't think him being on the front page, thrown up against a fence by Tallahassee PD was pre-planned, though.
Imagine somebody runs out there with a fire extinguisher, blows the fire extinguisher towards the horse freaks out, throws off Chief Osceola. Chief Osceola breaks his neck. The horse tramples people. Well, I mean, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the horse tramples DJ Ooga the Boogie and Mike Norvell.
Dang.
A series of unfortunate missteps.
Yeah, somebody out there.
If the horse doesn't get to him first, the buzzsaw might have a rematch with the ukulele there.
Ooh.
Do you remember the video from a couple years ago?
I do.
I mean, I can't believe the buzzsaw would actually show his face on the internet after not showing up to meet the challenge of the big Kahuna.
I got a question. Everybody and their mother came out of the woodwork talking about how terrible Cade Klubnik looked in the spring game. And rightly so, he did look terrible. But I haven't seen really anybody talking about how bad DJ looked at Florida State. He's been a starter in college for 2 years longer than Klubnik.
Oh, sir, you need to spend a little more time on Twitter then. He's getting raked across the coals.
Oh, he is?
Oh, yeah. Not even 50%. Now, granted, he didn't throw an interception. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he did.
Not the stat line ESPN showed.
He was 12 for 29 with 1 interception and 0 touchdowns.
Well, their stat line showed 0 and 0.
No, he threw an interception.
Is that why the staff is coming out and like, hey, he's had a great spring camp. Everything's fine.
The best thing is that everybody knows about DJ's dad, right? On Twitter, he's now blocking all the Florida. After the spring game happened, they start tweeting it. His dad's on Twitter constantly. I mean, the guy tweets 100 times a day, and so now all the Florida State fans. I think probably 95% of the Clemson fan base on Twitter has been blocked by DJ's dad, and the ball has already started. Hell, we're in April. We're still 6 months away from the football season, 5 months away. And he's already blocking Florida State fans now on Twitter.
Can you do this at Clemson too?
Oh God, yeah. I think I'm blocked by him.
What I've had fun doing is going back to the timelines of Florida State fans and digging up all the shit they talked about DJ while he was at Clemson. When they talk good about him now.
Well, here's the thing, is that in 2020, when that was the year, the COVID year, when Clemson traveled down to Florida State and they backed out while Clemson was getting dressed in the locker room. You remember that?
Yeah.
Because they said that Clemson traveled with a guy who tested positive for COVID or whatever. So DJ's dad at that time took to Twitter and was talking about, oh, Florida State's just scared of DJ. They're scared of Clemson, this and that. So they brought that up to him on Twitter, and boy, that set him off.
But wait a minute. DJ wasn't going to play in that game. Like, Trevor Lawrence was back.
Huh?
DJ wasn't supposed to play.
Yeah, but he was still on the team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so DJ's dad was, talking shit about how they're scared of Clemson and this and that. So they all brought that up to him, and boy, that set him off. And
Is he really trying to be the next
LeVar Ball? Yeah.
LeVar Ball?
Yeah.
Couldn't remember which one he was. They all began with an L.
Boy, if things go south and early in the season for Florida State, he'll have everybody with a Florida State tag blocked on Twitter. I'm telling you.
You got to know that that's like blood in the water on the internet.
DJ blocked his own dad on Twitter.
Damn.
His first year at Clemson, he blocked his own dad on Twitter.
That's messed up.
I mean, I'm kind of with Lou. I feel bad for DJ in that situation.
Of course, yeah, I do too. I like DJ. He's a good kid. Or good, I don't know, he's a kid anymore, but
I mean, I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think he's a good quarterback, but I don't think it makes him a bad person.
no, he's a good dude. He's just got a crazy dad. That's all it is.
Yeah.
A helicopter
I
parent.
feel his pain. I mean, I got to deal with all the dumb shit Miami fans say on the internet.
It's not related to him. Like, that seems messed up to me. Like, if I had a kid that was a D1 athlete, I would not say anything.
And God forbid DJ goes out there and throws 3 interceptions in a game and he gets benched by Mike Norvell for the backup. Oh, then DJ's dad he'll start tweeting at the coaches. This is what he did at Clemson. And then it just goes downhill from there. I'm with you guys. I feel sorry for him too.
Well, and what Lou was talking about on Lunch Money was right. You had, I think it was Brashard Smith's mom, tweet at the athletic director and Mario Cristobal. And that's when Cristobal had that famous press conference when he come out and said, if you don't want to be here, come get your kids.
That not go?
I know Mrs. Peete did not just have the balls to type in the chat. I wouldn't talk shit on everyone if that was my kid. Where'd this come from?
That is bullshit! That is bullshit!
Yeah, that's my response to that statement.
Well,
that is bullshit! That is bullshit!
That was her talking shit to an umpire in a 6-year-old baseball game.
Hey, listen, I was talking shit to a ref with a bunch of 7-year-olds playing basketball, so.
Well.
Luigi Green says, your biggest FSU fan here. Well, I appreciate that. Florida State fans, actually, there's a bunch of them that watch the channel and comment. I don't really have a problem with Florida State fans necessarily. I mean, I hate the team, but their fans, they don't bother me that much. At least they show up. I could talk as much shit as I want to about Florida State. They still show up and show out. But South Carolina fans, on the other hand, outside of Twisted Rooster, I mean, he's like the only one.
Well, jackpot.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
To a certain extent.
That's why I preface that with sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. And I like jackpot.
NC State fans ever come on? Because I know.
Oh, no. There's 0 of those.
We've had one, and I think I spent 10 minutes telling him how his daddy should have shot him against a wall.
Yeah, there isn't anybody outside of South Carolina. There's no team I've gone in on YouTube anyway, not in real life. On YouTube, harder than Ohio State, but I still have a ton of Ohio State fans that come around.
Yeah, go figure that.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, I can deal with certain Florida State fans. Like the ones that come around here for the most part are all right. Because you can get, beyond the trash talk and actually talk football with them. But, like, there's some of them that come around T2Ys. It's just, there's no actual football substance to the conversation, and it just wears thin after a while.
Yeah.
Mrs. Pete said he was totally safe, reasonable.
I mean, some of my best work on YouTube has been against Ohio State, but it's funny. I'm not, it's clearly just me ribbing them and not being serious. So, I mean, the whole, paternity test, the thing that I did.
Well, listen, if you're on the internet and you get your feelings that hurt over what another idiot on the internet says, that says more about you than that other idiot.
Yeah. Oregon State had the number 11th ranked offense last season. Do you really think Florida State's offense is going to be worse? Yes, I do. Have you seen Florida State's schedule, Ed? Yeah, I do. And there's few people on the planet that have watched more DJ Uiagalelei football than I have. I know what I'm talking about.
Well, you may know what you're talking about with DJ, but Miami going 9-3, sir, crack is a hell of a drug.
We'll see.
Miami was going 9-3 without Cam Ward.
Wait, you think they're doing better?
More than likely, yeah, by a game or two. Especially if they end up with Martinez out of the transfer portal. That dude's legit top 3, top 5 returning running back in the nation.
Ed, there is such a huge chasm between Jordan Travis and DJU that's not even funny. And we just got done going through the draft this year. You lost 90% of your production on both sides of the football to the draft this year. That's just a fact.
Yeah. And look, Mike Norvell's way of doing it obviously works, but you saw it was a progression over time leading up to last season. And now he's having to start back at square one. Like when Jordan Travis originally came in and started playing in 2020, he was fucking terrible.
Florida State winning the ACC again. I'm really hesitant to do this right now, but I'm such a degenerate gambler. I'm almost willing to make a bet right now. Should I do that? I probably shouldn't. Should I?
I mean, that's between y'all. Whoever wants to come and deal with Miami and Charlotte, that's between y'all.
Are you going to get over Tech this year?
I mean, if I take the field outside of Florida State, that the odds are in my favor on a betting, as far as betting goes.
Yeah.
True.
All right, Luigi Green, what do you want to bet? He wants to bet. I'm not doing anything crazy. If you want to do $25 or something, send me a PayPal. That's the only way I'm doing it. And you can ask anybody on here. I've paid every bet.
He has paid.
Most FSU fans have already purchased a plane ticket to Charlotte. Well, that sounds like something they do.
I mean, I'm fairly confident Miami's going to be there. I'm not purchasing a plane ticket to Charlotte in fucking April.
I'm down. I'll bet you. All right, send me $40 through PayPal or Cash App. I'll do 40.
What's the bet?
He's saying that Florida State's going to win the ACC. I'm saying the field. Anybody other than Florida State.
Okay.
I like my chances. I mean, the odds are in my favor, no doubt.
Well, they are. They're exponentially in your favor considering Miami's winning the ACC this year.
Well, not just Miami. I mean, you got Clemson, you got NC State. I mean, I'm just going off of what other people are saying. You got Clemson, you got Miami, you got NC State, you've got Virginia Tech, you've got Louisville. I mean, there's a bunch of other teams that are being hyped up, other than just Florida State. So
rude.
Georgia
Rude
Tech,
beat.
bro. Come on.
Georgia Tech might have a good season, and we have plenty of time between now and the start of the season to talk about that. But they're not winning the ACC.
They play all those teams though, and they're not losing all of them. I can tell you that.
We were like 2 games away from being in the title game this season.
You lost 18 million players to the portal and replaced your entire defensive staff.
That's true. If we had a good defense, like you wouldn't be able to tell me nothing. But Alas.
Hey Luigi, you send me the PayPal or the Cash App, and make sure you put in the description what it is and who you are too, so I know. This Florida State team is deeper than last year, man. Oh Jesus Christ!
God.
Now that is bullshit.
That is bullshit! That is bullshit!
I mean, I'll give them this much. Norvell finally figured out high school recruiting. He finally brought in a good high school class.
Luigi says, "Aren't I supposed to send it after the game is played?" No, because you can just you can just disappear. I can't. I'm still going to be here. I'll pay you. Trust me. If I lose, I'll pay you. I paid. You know how many people I paid last year? I don't even want to admit how many people I paid last year. I don't think I won a single fucking bet last year on the internet.
No, you lost to me.
It's not that
Yeah. Don't you still got to pay us, Slim?
Yeah, and since y'all are here, since neither one of y'all showed up to the Slob, well, one of y'all didn't show up to the Slob Olympics, the other one forgot. Y'all both have my number. Text me your PayPals.
I'm just telling you. It's not that I don't trust you. It's that I don't know you. Look, to me, you're just a name in the comment section. I don't know you personally. Like, I know Slim. I know Sea-Dog. I know Reg Talk, personally. So, but I don't know you. You could just never come around again. I'll never get my money if you choose to do that. It's not personal. It's just
the time.
Yeah, it's not personal.
It's just how you have to do bets on the internet.
Yeah.
Plus, if Pete didn't pay you, you'd be able to troll him endlessly.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm not shutting down my YouTube channel because I owe somebody $40. But you could change your name, and I wouldn't even know the wiser. No, again, it's not personal. It's just how I have to do it. So it's up to you, man. I don't care either way. Oh, anyway, but I do have to go though. So, thank you, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
For coming on. I appreciate it.
Oh.
You cheered me up. I've been mad for the past 7 hours, and you guys cheered me up. So there is that.
Yeah. Sorry I was late. I had to wait on them slow asses to fix my phone.
Yeah, no problem. All right, guys. It was great talking to you. See you later, Slim.
Toodles.
Toodles. Rec Talk, thanks for coming on and filling in for Sea-Dog for a short time.
No worries. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, good talking to you again. Sea-Dog, you there?
Yeah, man.
All right.
I'm going to go to sleep. I'm tired.
All right. So next Tuesday, we'll talk about all the players that were drafted and go over that. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
All right, man. See you later.
Later. And the rest of you, appreciate you. And what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday. I'll be on at 11 a.m. on the second channel. If you're not subscribed to the second channel, do so now. There is a link to that channel in the description of this video. I'll be on for the midday show tomorrow at 11 a.m. sharp. And I won't be late, unlike the doctor from today. Have a good